House Speaker Paul Ryan shaking up the House yesterday, announcing he's going to retire at the end of his term. What effect will this have on the November midterm elections as we march on toward that month? Joining us right now to break it all down is former Ted Cruz campaign pollster and CEO of WPA Intelligence, Chris Wilson. Chris, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Okay, so Paul Ryan made a really good case. Look, my kids have never seen me before because I only come home on the weekends, so I'd like to spend a little time before they grow up. That's a good reason.
Yeah, it is. I think a quick scan of his Instagram, Paul Ryan's Instagram account, shows how much he enjoys spending time with his kids. And it's got to get all the travel, all the fundraising, the schedule he's got. He's already been to 20 states so far this year. The schedule has got to be just daunting, particularly for someone who, in a decade isn't going to have his kids around anymore. They're going to be off in college. So if there's one reason for someone to say they want to leave Congress, and it's got to be, this is the one that nobody can argue with.
The one thing that a lot of people don't realize, Chris, is they know, Speaker of the House, you're in charge of the House on the Republican side, and you're the leader. But they don't realize that if you are a Republican, you do look for the Speaker of the House, if you're in Congress, to come out to your district and raise money. And that's why a lot of the weekends when he would like to be at home in Janesville with his kids, he is somewhere else trying to make money for somebody else.
Yeah, it's, like I said, the schedule. I know last week I do a lot of work in Texas. He had been down there and he went all over the state. Now, having said that, he's been a prolific fundraiser. He's already transferred $40 million from his campaign account over to the NRCC. And I don't think that's going to change very soon. As he said, he's going to run through the tape. He's going to keep doing that schedule. He's going to keep raising money. And both the NRCC and the RNC, actually, are on track. They've already, through the end of February, raised 50%, more than 50% of what they did for all of 2016. So it's going to be well funded. I don't see that stopping. Going to this committee, he's clearly still committed to Republican and conservative, to the Republican Party and conservative ideals, and making sure that he does everything he can that Republicans keep the House.
We've got a big screen over here that shows Team Ryan fundraising in the first quarter of 2018. Look at that; they've raised $11.1 million already, and over the last election cycle, over $54 million. But here's the thing, Chris. It does look to some donors as if Paul Ryan's getting out because he knows the Democrats are going to be taken over. He's going to lose the gavel, so he's going to get out while the getting's good.
Well, I think Democrats are certainly do everything they can to make that argument. And as he gets out, he became the 25th member to announce a retirement. You have 13 more that are moving on and trying to run for higher offices. 38 seats right now amongst Republicans are open. But, Steve, the interesting thing about that is only 22 of those are right now ranked as toss-up, which is less than the Democrats need to take over the House. But Ryan's probably moves into that category. Randy Bryce, the Democrat there, has already raised over $2.5 million. And now that Ryan's out, he's got to find a strong Republican to be able to hold that seat.
Sure.
I think what this does is it kind of frees him up a little bit to go out and make sure that Republicans have strong candidates, that he's helping them campaign. And he knows that come January, he's going to have the time to spend with his family.
Sure.
And he can concentrate and work with donors and work with the Republican Party to make sure that Republicans do hold the House and pick up seats in the Senate.
Right. Well, one of the problems for Mr. Ryan was the fact that it was hard to get all the Republicans on the same page, and that's why they didn't get a lot of stuff done. So if the Republicans still have the majority come January, who would the next speaker be? A lot of people are talking about Steve Scalise, who was on our program yesterday, or Kevin McCarthy. Right now, who's the front runner?
It's tough to say because this only started yesterday. Steve Scalise said he won't run against Kevin McCarthy. Kevin McCarthy started to run last time when Paul Ryan did and then pulled back and decided not to. Yeah. And so no one's really announced yet. There are a lot of calls being made around. I had a couple of calls yesterday of clients of ours talking about what's going to happen. I think there is, between the two, I think it's likely that Scalise emerges because he's seen as the more conservative pick and he would be a face of the party. But I think there's probably a couple other candidates in this that we haven't even heard of yet, that you could see Republicans come together and say, sort of like what happened with Paul Ryan, quite frankly, where they say, hey, this is the person who we can all get behind. And the group that's going to have a big say in this is going to be the House Freedom Caucus.
Absolutely. And it sounds like right now they are doing a deal, or they're talking to Kevin McCarthy because he's saying all the things they want to hear. So stay tuned. We'll find out what's going to happen. Chris Wilson, former Ted Cruz campaign pollster, thank you very much for joining us live. Meanwhile,